Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. How's it going today, guys?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good as well. I just had a little reveal on one of the projects I bought into. I bought into a project yesterday as well.
It's
Kind of
another
steal
scam. What's going on,
it.
man? What you on now? Huh?
You're not
Is
gonna like
it
this one. I don't even know if I want to talk
some
about
other
it.
network we don't know about? Some chain
Yeah.
that nobody
I,
else but you know about? Is that
actually,
what's going on,
actually,
Chris?
actually, yes. Ironically.
Ah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. It's worse than Avex, I guess. Or like, how speculative are we going today, Chris?
It's just one of those platforms that's built on ETH. So like so it's
So
not.
sidechain?
Yeah, it's Palm. Have you ever heard of Palm?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, Chris.
I've actually
Why
never
you do
bought.
this
I've never
every
bought anything on
day,
Palm.
Chris? Why you
I've
gotta
never
do
bought anything on
this,
Palm
man?
before, actually.
Why you gotta do this, Chris? What
All
the
right,
hell is a palm, Chris?
look. I watched the newest Batman movie last night, which was pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I know you don't like Batman, but for the sake of
No,
your
I
best friend
mean
who
I
likes
don't hate
Batman,
Batman. I just think he's not a superhero. That's
yeah,
all.
it was
That's
pretty good. It was pretty good. He's almost like I don't know, but it had me so hype. I just had to go buy a Batman NFT, so I did.
and it's on palm.
Yeah, it's on Palm. Yeah.
Oh my god, man! Is it legit or is it like how'd you find it? Huh? Was it like a one of those Russian chat channels? Is that how you found
No,
about
no,
it?
no.
Telegram?
It's legit. It's just
Oh.
they had a bumpy start, and I think they can recover, and you're gonna be able to. So like right now it's on Palm, but I think like mid-May, which like is only like 2 weeks away, you'll be able to take it off of Palm and put it on, in your wallet and put it wherever you want. I kind of just bought it for like the just to see what happens with it and kind of for like the fandom experience. It's supposed to give you an airdrop every 52 days for 2 years. So now I'm not saying
What?
these, yeah, it's crazy. I'm not saying these airdrops are going to be like valuable. They could be.
They're not.
But it's just
They
gonna be
won't be.
cool. It's still cool though, just to be able to like get something, every 52 days that I can experience. So I
Oh,
didn't
so
really
it'll
buy
be an
this one.
experience.
I didn't really buy this one. I know this is a flipping channel, and I usually am a flipper, but I kind of bought this one for the experience, and that one we talked about yesterday. I also bought for the game. So actually, everything I bought this week really hasn't been to flip. It's actually been just to
Ah,
hold.
okay.
So
Okay, that's I mean you just like to hold trash. But
yeah, no,
yeah, that's Palm, come on, Chris.
I know.
That's what you want to hold?
Yeah,
Palm.
I'm gonna buy my first Cardano NFT later this week too.
Come come on, man. Come on, Palm. Jeez.
Yeah.
But hey, that's pretty cool, man. Do you have is it licensed? It's legit like
Yeah, it's
licensed
licensed through
by.
Warner Brothers. Yeah, so,
Oh,
and,
okay.
Jim Lee, which is, like, well known, like, in the Batman universe, he's actually involved with it. It's almost like his baby, like, his project.
Mm.
And, yeah, it's officially through Warner Brothers, and, the reason that I think we've seen this a couple times with, like, Me6 and a couple other companies. It seems like they're getting off on just, like, not having enough Web3 knowledge, to really, like,
Mm.
promote their product. And I think that's kind of the problem they had, that and they launched via fiat, not with ETH. So, like, and the mint was fiat,
Uh,
which hurt them bad. 'Cause, like, I think if they minted with ETH, because they actually I mean, I don't have confirmation that they paid, but I'm pretty sure they paid some people with Bored Apes that have a large followings to like run spaces for them. So I really do
mhm.
think if it would the mint would have been in ETH, it would have been like it would have been gone. But it was in fiat, so I just not everybody's gonna pull out a fiat. And as far as like flipping and investments go, there's just better avenues right now.
Yeah, yeah, a lot better, a lot better. But you seem to know how to find these things, Chris.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
commend
it's
you for
fun.
that. I gotta give you a round of applause for that one, man. You deserve it, man. You find trash from the dumpster sometimes,
Hey man,
and
this one's gonna
you
be
hold
good though.
on, you hold on.
So, one quick thing about that, and then I'll get off of it. I'm not like, a huge fan, but this is just cool. They're actually going to use those like also as a utility for when they bring up like people that work at DC, so like that have large fan bases
Mm.
like Jim Lee, and have like private Discord calls and like Twitter Spaces with those people, and like you have to be holding one of these to like be in that space, and it will allow you to like ask questions and stuff. I'm not like that big
Oh,
of a
cool.
fan to where like that really matters, but I know there's people out there that's going to be a really big deal for. and it's a cool way to utilize NFTs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how we're gonna start the show today about
Yeah.
Palm NFTs. Yeah,
You want to go back to
that's
A
what we've come
players?
to.
You want to go back to A players?
No, no, thank you. No, gracias. Nah, I mean, we do have a special guest coming on
Yep.
later on today, but before that, I just want to mention, what's coming up, what to look forward to in the Ethereum network.
Hmm.
I think Phantom Network is coming out with
Hmm.
a drop coming out soon, and I think it's gonna be overhyped. PXN. Let me
Yeah.
see. It's
Are you on a
Oh,
allow
so
list for
you've
that?
heard about it?
I have, yeah. I'm not on
Oh
a allow
yeah,
list though.
no, nah. Come on, we never get the good stuff out here, man. But it seems that that's gonna take all the way off. That's what everybody's pretty much waiting on right now. If I was on that list, that'd be dope. But nah, I'm not. I might play the secondary, but still, nah. I think it's gonna be a Dutch auction, right?
Yeah,
Do you know the
yeah.
details for that one?
I think it's starting off. I think it's starting off at 2 ETH. I'm pretty sure, but I don't. I just kind of like I'm in. It's in one of my groups. It's floating around there. But I
Mm,
haven't really dug into it because I'm not on a allow list or anything. Yeah,
yeah, I
I
think it's
think
gonna
aren't they
start at
working with
two.
is this a branch or are they working with Neo Tokyo? I saw something to
Um,
do Neo Tokyo involved.
I'm not sure. I'm on their website and it's way too geeky for me.
Okay.
You can pull it up. It's just way. I'm trying to figure it out. It's one of those
Yeah.
websites that is just like way too nerdy. I text you
Yeah, I'll
the
pull it up.
the website address right now. But we do have a special guest coming up soon, though. We just wanted to get all the alpha portion of the show out of the way before we have them on and talk about Moonray Games, man.
Heck
That's
yeah,
gonna be
man. Heck
fun.
yeah. It will
More
be. Will be.
NFT gaming, please.
We'll definitely look at that too. This is the Phantom website that you're talking about.
Yeah, like that's like way
I
it's
like
way
it.
too
I like
geeky for
it.
me. It's cool, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's very nerdy.
that is cool.
Yeah, like do you open each folder? Yeah, you do open each folder, and it just shows you. Yeah,
Yeah. Huh. I'll have to dig more into this. Honestly, I've never even been here before, but this is pretty sick. This could be something.
yeah, yeah. The drop is I think later on this week, and it is a Dutch auction starting from either 2 Ethereum or 2.5. I'm not too certain, and it goes all the way down to point 0.1, but I don't think it's gonna make it that far down
Probably not.
because
No.
this one is pretty hyped. Yeah, and
Yep.
that's just the main alpha we got for today, right? Unless you have something else, some other Palm Network thing
No,
dropping,
I
that
do
you
got
want to
something
talk about.
else, but I'll save it for later this week when there's more details. But I know the Phantom Galaxy burn is
Oh
coming up
yes, I
where
heard about that as well.
you need to burn your medals and do completions, and it's probably good to start prepping for that to get the avatars.
Mm.
But I'll find out more details about that and bring that up later this week. I probably will be doing that. I beat the beta of Phantom Galaxy. I haven't beat the second part yet, just because I haven't played it, and then I need to burn my medals.
Is it too late to start on that, or is it like
I don't know actually.
it's gonna take too long?
No, it didn't take long. It only took me like 2 hours to beat it. The first version, the second version I haven't played yet, so it shouldn't be too late. You might just have to like spend the whole day playing the game, but the game's awesome, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Awesome, you say?
Yeah, Phantom Galaxy is amazing, dude. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah, I did see previews of it, and I was gonna try it. I just haven't had time yet to play the game. But when
Sure.
I get back in my gaming mode, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna
that's the
try
one you
that
gotta
out.
try out. That's when you gotta try out. Speaking of games, we got the founder of Moonray.game,
Ooh,
Rodrigo,
nice
in the house.
transition on that one. Nice transition on that one, Chris. I see you. I see you.
Rodrigo.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
Rodrigo. Welcome, welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
very slick, very professional. Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we try on this show, man. Sometimes Chris just knocks it out of the park, you know?
Yeah.
He does it sometimes. Welcome to the show,
Hey,
Rodrigo.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Okay.
What's up, Gutter? Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say welcome to the show. And how long have you been in NFTs?
Since about July. I'd
Okay.
say. Yeah, June, July.
June or July? Sweet.
OG status now, right? In this space,
In crypto, yeah.
Yeah.
More than 6 months here in OG. Yeah.
what got you into the space? Like, how'd you just stumble upon NFTs?
I
Like,
mean, I I came in from the gaming side, so I started Moonray like maybe 3 years ago now, with the idea of just making a game, like a traditional game, and then started seeing what was happening in blockchain, over the summer, and then just started getting really curious as to, what the hell's going on. What are these blockchain games doing? And so just started investigating and researching blockchains and, NFTs and how all that works. And then just kept going basically.
Did you say 3 years this game's been in?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's, listen, the first year was just like purely experiments, so it starts really, really slow. I think in a serious way 2 years ago, so we really started getting really serious about it. But then when we pivoted to become a blockchain game and a blockchain company, we've basically rewritten everything. Like we basically threw everything out and started over. So, in a way, it's been a few years. In a way, it's been like 9 months. But
Okay.
but we started with the core idea several years ago, and have just been modifying that and figure out how does how can we integrate blockchain technology the right way in a game.
Oh, nice. So, like, what part of the NFT that got you like curious about integrating NFTs into Moonray?
Well, the way that we look at it, I think at this point it's pretty obvious. And the way that I think that NFTs will interact with gaming is that NFTs allow you to monetize your time. So you spend a lot of time in your game. If that's all based on an NFTs that you own, and you're putting your time into that NFT, and you can recognize that, let's say, progression on chain, then the time that you spend playing a game is something that you can do something useful with, basically. So it's just a different way of monetizing a game, and it definitely is a way of getting players more involved, I think, in a deeper way than with a traditional game. But then it does bring up a whole lot of challenges, because when you design a game and you start thinking about how a game and an NFT economy work, you're dealing with real money. So then it becomes just a lot trickier in terms of how you how are you going to release NFTs? Like, how are you going to do loot in a game if NFTs are going to be involved without unbalancing the whole economy? Or how does progression work in a way that makes sense, that has some economic benefit to gamers, but that also isn't unfair? So like, let's say you start selling NFT weapons in a game. Are you pay to win now? Because gamer, that's a real tricky thing. Like the guy with the most money can get the best sword and just beat everyone in PvP. So there's a lot of challenges, but I think that the whoever can figure out the right way to integrate blockchain technology into gaming, it's going to be huge. And I don't think anyone's done it yet, to be perfectly blunt.
Okay.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. What steps do you think Moonray is taking to get there?
What we're focused on is figuring out how to bring in mainstream gamers into blockchain games. I think too many of the games out there now are really DeFi projects, and the game is an interface for a DeFi project. Most of the games aren't terribly fun for the game itself. So if you just
not at all,
basically, I think that the real challenge, I think the test for a game is, if this was a Web 2 game, would anyone play it? And if the answer is no, you've failed. So first you have to make a game that's fun, and then you have to figure out how to integrate blockchain technology the right way. And too many games start with, here are NFTs. By the way, here's a game that we put on top of it. Now it's also a game, but that doesn't work. I mean, like, no gamer wants to pull out a spreadsheet and figure out the right economic trading strategy. That's for, there's traders, let traders do that, but gamers want to
DJs do that. Yeah.
And there is a market for that, and there are games that can do that. They're going to have some success, but I just don't think it's a very viable long-term approach.
Just step us back. Like, tell me about your childhood. What games did you play?
So the very first.
Were you into gaming?
Oh yeah, I got my first game system when I was 4, and it was an Atari 2600. So this is way back in the day. So I'm 43.
Age yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And it was just awesome, right? And then we got the Atari 7800, and then I remember when Nintendo came out, it was like the coolest thing ever. I played basically every game. I've owned almost every game system ever made, including weird ones like the TurboGrafx 16, which was awesome, and the portable TurboGrafx, which
never
really
heard of it.
And it's great. In its time, it was revolutionary. Like, had the best graphics of anything out there.
Really?
Yeah, a company called NEC, another Japanese company. And then of course Sega. We even have I have the Sega made the first, I think, 3D console game. I forget what it was called, but they had the CD-ROM version of the Sega, like in between the Sega Genesis and the first PlayStation. They had another system that came out. So anyways,
yeah, it was I remember that one. Well, it was a small little white box, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that was a Dreamcast. There was one even
Yeah,
before that.
Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast was awesome. But there was one even before that. I forget what it was called. So I mean, I played every game, but I really love playing. I mean, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I played tons and tons and tons of Street Fighter. And then when shooters get like Doom, I played tons of Doom. Back in the days when you had to use a modem to call up another person directly, and it would use the phone line. So then my parents had to get a second phone line because I just use up the phone line. No one can make any calls. But I mean, like 1v1 over a modem. I mean, that was incredible. Back in the day, it was unbelievable to play against someone else.
Yeah.
And then Halo. I mean, Halo's still probably my favorite shooter. I play it all the time.
Really? You never played 007?
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, that was when I was in college. 007 was huge. And someone would always play as Odd Job, which is cheating, right? Because you're shorter, you can't shoot them. 007 was great. But for me, for like shooters like Halo and probably Overwatch, I think are my best. And then listen, the Call of Duty series are great, all those. But I have kids now. I don't like to play anything too realistic.
Oh, you don't?
No, I mean, my kids are gonna walk around if I'm in, so it's like if it's like either robots, like I'm shooting robots, or it's cartoony, then it's fine. But I don't want.
You can't be playing Call of Duty in front of the kids.
That's right. Yeah,
sniping people.
That's right. My wife will get upset. So
I somehow ended up owning Overwatch on almost every system. I had it for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
I know.
I don't know how.
I have it on Xbox. Yeah, I almost need to buy it in PlayStation because it depends on like where I am in the house. It's like I want to play Overwatch, but my son is playing on the Xbox. Like, okay.
Yeah. It was a good game, though. But I played nearly every single one of those games that you mentioned. Gutter and I both come from a gaming background as well, so it's exciting to have you on the show and hear about the game. We do have the gameplay trailer pulled up. Would you like us to show that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Gutter, yes. I will say when I play it, for some reason the sound doesn't come through. Do you think you could pull it up on your end?
Oh, okay. Yes. Let me try to do that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no rush at all. Just so that the viewers that watch this now or later can have a good idea of how the gameplay is going to look.
And we actually have a newer gameplay. Do you want to do the newest gameplay?
Yeah, sure.
I got something new.
Yeah,
I'll drop the link in our private chat.
Okay.
Because this is our PvP combat. Here, let me drop this in for you guys. See if you can get that link, Gutter, that I just put in.
All right.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on the.
Let me remove this one.
So basically, what we're doing now is we're launching a closed alpha this month, and it's PvP. So we are testing right now 2 versus 2 and 4 versus 4. And we're going to test like a 50-man battle royale, maybe 100. We're going to see how the technical stuff goes. But right now, we're just really focused on getting PvP combat, nailed and getting that figured out. So that's what.
I haven't really intentionally. I've been trying to stay blind to the project because I wanted everything to be fresh when you're on here, as if I'm learning for the first time. So also while you're on here, after we watch the trailer, I do want to ask about some of like the minting process, how many there's going to be, what mint price is, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, let's watch this.
Okay, so when we watch it, the audio, if you speak, the audio is gonna reflect back on you because I'm basically letting you hear my desktop, so it'll hear you back. Just to be aware. Give me 1 second. Let me set it up. You hear it? All right, let me start over then. All right, sorry. Okay, so there we have it. Give me 1 second.
That looks super clean. For some reason, and this is a great thing because I'm a huge fan of this, even though it is probably not similar at all. The fighting mechanics reminded me of Kingdom Hearts for some reason. I don't know if you're familiar with Kingdom Hearts.
I'm familiar with it. I haven't played that. Okay. The type of games that we're playing now, like we're really inspiring this is like, Devil May Cry, Godfall. If you played that on PlayStation, it's an awesome game. Naraka Blade Point is an awesome game. I actually haven't played that one. Our combat designer, though, is a huge fan of that. Dark Souls a little bit, Monster Hunter. So that type of third person action. We're really focused on making it like we like to say esports friendly. So like the combat, it's kind of easy to understand, but it's deep, so there's a lot
Yeah,
to
I
it. So
love that.
you can spend a lot of time, getting better and better.
Yeah.
But like I said, our focus is right now for like the next year, just focus on getting PvP figured out. Make sure that's fun, that we have plenty of good move sets, the maps are good, the game modes are good, and then from there we'll just keep growing.
Cool. Cool.
All right.
Sweet.
So give us a little bit more about the technicals. Now I know Chris and I might zone out a little bit if it gets way too technical, but just give us what's the servers like? How is it gonna be PvP?
Yeah, no, I mean it's pretty straightforward. I mean we're building in Unreal Engine 5. So we're
Okay.
doing, pretty like what's essentially kind of standard in the game industry. So we're going to start off on Amazon web servers. They're fast, they're reliable, they're good. And we can add more server capacity, pretty easily. In the future, we might move to like our own servers. What they call bare metal. We'll build our own servers at some point. And I mean, there's companies that specialize in that sort of thing. But essentially, we're building. Unreal Engine is really designed for maximum 100 people interacting at once, because basically what Fortnite can do. That's what they've optimized it for. But that's really, from a gameplay perspective, I think that's pushing it to the max. I mean, like, you have 100 people on a map, especially with melee combat, and even that starts to get, you got to balance things really carefully, or else you just have like a mosh pit in the middle with everyone like hitting each other. You can't see anything. So that is what we are optimizing for. 100 people maximum interacting at once. And for us, proper interaction needs to be really high fidelity. So the animations need to be smooth. I mean, it needs to be just as fast or just as smooth as playing 1 versus 1. Otherwise, it's not going to be fun. So that'll be like the upper limit technically on how many players can be fighting each other at once. Over time, this is probably more like 2 years out, we're going to start scaling it into open world settings, open world environment, and start building out an MMO around our core gameplay. So when we get into that, we will have, the ability to have like basically 100 people per shard. So that's the maximum of people that you can interact with at any point, which I think is, for combat and for most types of gameplay is really all you need. Like if you're on a map and there's like 99 other people on it, it feels pretty full. There are ways of doing even more. You can get to thousands. The technology exists for it, but the animation isn't as smooth. And so then the combat has become a lot simpler. And that for me is not as fun. Like we want like combat, like really high fidelity combat at all times. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. So that's basically it. So it's, so really it's on the game side, it's Unreal Engine 5. On the blockchain side, we're building on Ethereum mainnet. We are looking at all the layer 2s. We don't think the time is right now for the kind of game that we're making to go to a layer 2. Maybe more towards like end of the year. I think we'll be ready for that. And all the liquidity for us is on mainnet from how we see it. So the way that we're designing the game, and where I think a lot of games make a mistake, is that they try and do everything on chain, and there's no reason for it. And in fact, you can't. If you're building a game like this that needs performance, you can't talk to a blockchain. It doesn't matter which blockchain you're on. It's just it doesn't work at all.
Not even on like layer 2 at all.
I mean, first of all, it's like what information are you going to store in a blockchain? I mean, this game by the time we're done is going to be 60 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes. So where does that go, right? I mean, that needs to be hosted somewhere that's that's fast. And really, the blockchain for us is a technology for economic interactions. That's what the blockchain is for. Game interactions. The industry understands how to make high performance games, and that's taken a long time, to get to, having this number of players interact. It's not easy to do, and certainly one way to screw it up would be to put a blockchain in there. That'd be a good way to mess up performance. So for us, the blockchain is purely for economic stuff. And when you do something economic, then there's a lot of ways of doing that. But when you're playing, you got to stay away from a blockchain.
So what do you mean economic stuff? When I think about integration with gaming and blockchain or NFTs, I kind of think about, upgrading your equipment, or, finding new NFT loot, or finding new sword, stuff like that. What do you mean economically?
I mean, that's what we mean. But, you can decide how often you recognize that on chain, because you have to recognize that in the game engine first for it to do anything, for it to be anything. And then you can decide when you basically store that progression or store that item on chain. So it's something that either you as a game company, or you can give that power to the gamer, which is how we do it. You can decide when to store progression on chain, essentially. And that's what we mean by economics. So let's say you can upgrade your character as much as you want, but you don't have to incur any gas. When you're ready to trade it, okay, now you should recognize all that progression on chain. Otherwise, it's there's no need. It's Unreal Engine. I mean, like we have to represent everything inside of the game engine first, So why talk to the blockchain right now? There's just no point. When you're ready to go sell it, then we'll talk to the blockchain.
So when you're ready to, like, let's say post it up on, I'm just guessing, like somewhere like OpenSea, then it updates your. So you would have to pay gas to do that
That's right. That's right.
if it's on
And
layer one.
and it can be like, if you want to have, I mean, if you want to have everything stored on chain all the time, you can do that too. But there's just no need for it. And it's not really a design problem that you need to solve for necessarily, because it doesn't do anything for the game, or I mean, for us, like, if it doesn't make the game more fun, there's just no point to it. So, why does, recognizing something on chain every 5 minutes make the game more fun? Well, it doesn't. So why are we doing it? But if you want to do that as a gamer, you can. So we're designing the system to give the gamer control over that, essentially.
That makes sense. It kind of reminds me, Gutter, of we interviewed CyberKongs like 2 weeks ago, and their newest, I don't even remember the name of it, their newest generation Kongs, though, those are like level 12. You can level them up, and they're like level 10, 12, 15, but it doesn't show it yet. I think there's a day that it's going to update all of them, but they all kind of look the same right now, but people are buying them because of how they're going to look like once they're updated on chain. I could see similar vibes as far as like progress goes.
You can even see like NFT marketplaces do lazy minting and things like that. I mean, there's ways that you communicate with the blockchain when it's necessary, basically.
And is this most games I've seen so far are browser based? How will we be able to play Moonray games? Will it be on browser? Or?
No, it's a PC download. I think we'll have a Mac version very soon as well. It's going to require a decent computer. Like, I think like a GTX 1070 should play it fine.
Okay.
We're testing it on 20 series and 30 series, and we get 60 frames per second. So I think like a 10 series should get 30. But it's going to be a PC game. I mean, ultimately, we want to go to consoles. That's where the big market is. Although the PC market's huge too. Not to say that browser-based gaming isn't big. I mean, it is, and mobile gaming is huge. It's just kind of not what we're doing. And if you make a browser-based game, then the limitations on what you can do are in terms of like visual fidelity and combat and things like that, start to get pretty intense. Like we want to make a high-performance game that we can take to PS5.
And would the game be playable before the NFT integration, or
no? So what's happening is we're doing an NFT drop this weekend, which we call the Foundation Collection. It's going to give a bunch of perks like permanent whitelist and land sale whitelist and the founder skin, and access to the closed alpha and any other future closed betas. So any holders of the NFT will get to play the alpha. And I think it will be an alpha for probably like 2 to 3 months. It's kind of what we're guessing. So sometime midsummer, we'll probably move into maybe a closed beta for a little bit and then an open beta. Once we're in open beta, then anyone will be able to play. But before then, it'll be NFT gated.
Oh, okay. So that's the utility of owning this Foundation NFT.
That's one of them. Like, and anytime that we release like a new map, a new move set, we'll let the Foundation holders try it first. And then for the future, it's going to be, that's the founder skin is the only time that we're going to have the founder skin, out and up for sale. And then, like whitelist, when we introduce, we're going to do a tech demo of our first version of a metaverse city, probably by the end of summer, early fall. We'll have an area in there for like the Foundation holders. Random airdrops every now and then of like weapons and stuff like that. So we're going to make it be kind of like the best NFT to own in the game, essentially. But it's really for our founding community that's willing to play our alphas, play our betas, and give us feedback and help us make the game better.
So can people still get involved with that?
Yeah. So we're minting, starts May 7th at midnight. Basically, Friday night, like early Saturday morning, essentially, this weekend. There's 5,500 total supply. We're going to hold 500 for our treasury. And then we have a couple of waves. Like we have some partners that we're working with. Then we have like a whitelist, and then it'll go public. But we're going to put 5,000 up for sale.
What's the mint price on those?
0.15 ETH.
Okay. Is that for public and a private, or public and whitelist?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is there still a way for people to get whitelist, or is it cut off already?
That's a good question. I think we've basically closed it. There may be some other competitions going on in our Discord. I don't know. There's a few. We've been partnering with a whole bunch of communities. There may be a few communities out there that are still doing some, but I think we're closing the whitelist like any minute now, basically.
Gotcha. Cool.
Oh, nice. So, I kind of forgot what I was about to ask, but is there any way we could like any demos available we could see, we could check out? Because I'm kind
When
of
we
interested in testing this out.
Yeah, when the we haven't decided when we're going to drop the alpha, but I think I'm guessing 2-3 weeks. I got to check with the developers and see. They're just kind of putting the finishing touches on some things. But as soon as the alpha's out there, people are going to start streaming it, and that'll be the first time that people get to play it. And from there, I mean, anyone that has the foundation, NFT will get to play it. But we'll be in open beta sometime this summer. We're not going to be doing like our real like our Genesis drops, until we're in open beta. Like we just don't like the idea of selling NFTs before they're usable. So when we get ready, when we know when we're going to move into open beta, that's when we'll start doing like NFT drops, like characters and weapons and things like that. But at that point, the game will just be a download that anyone can play. So we're guessing probably July, maybe August.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about the Stacks integration.
We've been working with Stacks for quite a while. We are working with them on integrating NFTs. Initially we were going to integrate Stacks first and then Ethereum, but then we switched it. Now we're integrating Ethereum first and then Stacks. So Stacks is going to come a little bit later. Right now, everything that we're doing is Ethereum mainnet. But we're working with the Stacks, the whole Stacks community to figure out, when we can start introducing Stacks-based NFTs. So I think, it's tough to give it any timeline, but I don't think it's going to be too far off in the distance. But one of the things that we think is going to take games to like the next level with mainstream gamers, I think that blockchain needs to become invisible, and that's really what we're working on. So we're working on, blockchain to us is just like a technology like TCP/IP that almost no one knows about, but it's the foundation of the web. But you don't need to know about it because who cares? Websites just work. That's the way that games should be in the future. There's not going to be something called like gaming and blockchain gaming. It's just gaming. And then do you have control over your assets or not? And is it secure or not? And what the blockchain is, most people won't care, and they shouldn't care. I mean, just like when you play a game now, do you know which engine it was built on? I mean, half the time you don't. It doesn't matter. Like who cares?
Nah,
It's like, is it a fun game? That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Tell us, how did you guys come about like the whole coming up with Moonray, like the whole idea? Like, how did the team get formed?
It started just small and organic. I mean, basically, I was just really bored of playing medieval games, like near future, like cyberpunk kind of games. Those are fun games to play, and I play them. But it's like I wanted to make something that was different, and with a different visual style, and something that was much more far future and surreal. So I just started finding like artists, that kind of felt the same way, and designing like a new kind of sci-fi, basically. So we're actually going to be putting out a comic book like every like month or so, like every 4 to 6 weeks, to kind of tell the story of the world and to explain like the world that all this takes place in. But I just really wanted to do something different and something that looked very, very different. And part of the thing is that I think that like modern game engines are getting really, really powerful. And it's like, like I've already seen a lot of castles, and a lot of orcs and stuff like that. It's like, I don't need to see too many more. And then as a business strategy, I always think about it like if you were going to make a movie, I think the last thing you'd want to do is make a superhero movie because you're going up against Marvel. And like, what's your budget? They're going to blow you out of the water. So like, if you make a medieval game, it's like, what's the point? There's already like, 30 medieval games out there. You got to do something very, very different. And so that was kind of part of the idea here. So let's make something that looks really, really unique and different and just have fun with it.
I like it. I see that you guys even have like a comic written for it. That's pretty.
That's right. Yeah. And so we're putting that out steadily. And we'll do something with it soon, like with NFTs as well. But really, we're going to put it out there for free for anyone to read because that's just kind of how we're going to get the story out. That's how we're going to like explain the world that we're building, basically.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm still checking it. Oh yeah, I'm on I hopped on the Moonray Foundation pre-mint list. I just see it popped up now. I don't think I won though. Did you guys pick the winners of the pre-mint yet?
I think we had a raffle. I think so. I think the raffle's over. I think we just raffled off like 250. That was us. We were gonna mint last weekend and we pushed it back. We asked our community. There's a lot of
smart move.
Yeah, at first we were thinking, do we really need to? And we asked the community. They're like, yes, let's delay it. So then the whitelist was closed. And then we did another raffle, added a few more. But yeah, when I saw the gas prices over the weekend, I was like, oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, 10K Gwei. Oh my God. Yeah, I saw a few different things kind of get pushed back as well, like Black Paris, which we talked about on the show, Chris. That got pushed back because of this, and it's just a smart move. It's like, come on, you're not the apes when they drop something. It's a huge huge event in this space. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, man. It looks cool. Like,
Yeah,
cause me
I
and
got
Chris.
I kind of got it right here too. Even just looking at the background, like just
Oh yeah, here we
looks
go.
pretty sick. Yeah, I might try to mint. I don't know if it's gonna be a race with only 5,000 of them.
So is there a public? Does it
There's going to
go
be a
in public or?
public. There should be. I mean, I guess we'll see how the whitelist goes. I mean, I think we reserved 3,250 for the whitelist, but anything that doesn't get sold will go to the public. So the public will be at least 500, but it should be a little bit more. But we'll see. I mean, it's always tough to predict how these things go. But there will
Yeah.
be some public available.
Oh, cool.
So this
Yeah, but
again, just make sure I heard right. This mint is more so for the alpha, beta, private access, but there is actually later on still going to be like that Genesis mint.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And that's when we really start, dropping like characters, like different kind of character, like basically think of them as skins, but that you can upgrade, so it'll be like common, mythic, legendary, etc. So the basic NFT structure of the game is characters and weapons, and there'll be other things you can equip, like spells and things like that, but mostly focus on primarily characters and then to a lesser degree weapons. And you'll be able to, so think of it as like you're playing Fortnite. You can get a skin, except that you can upgrade it over time, and then that's your asset. You can sell it whenever you want. But to take part in the economy in the game, you have to buy a character.
Awesome. Is there
yeah,
any
that video
other?
looks so cool.
What's that?
The video looks so cool,
It
man. It
does.
looks
It does.
so fluid, right?
Yeah, I would love to play the beta. This looks awesome. Is there any other? I know this is. I don't know if this is just competition or whatever, but like, is there any other games in the space that like you're looking at that are like either inspiring you or you think like are doing things right or like anything like that?
It's tough to answer without sounding arrogant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough
Basically,
question.
basically no.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fine.
the blockchain gaming industry, the games I see do not impress me. Basically, I mean that's why we're in this. I mean, I think there was a few.
Name some names, man.
I think
Let
there's
us
a few games
know,
that
Rodrigo.
we think that they have the right idea, and I think with time that they might get there. But the blockchain games right now are just like they're just DeFi protocols. That's all they are. Most of them. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
they
like
are.
there's no point. I mean, like there's very few games. Like I said, if there wasn't a token or an NFT involved, very few of the games in the industry now would be played by anyone. And that's got to change. I mean, the game itself has to be fun. If the gameplay sucks, there's just no point to it.
I think I don't know if you heard Gutter Nye's introduction, but the one game that I really did have fun playing that's on the blockchain is probably Phantom Galaxy so far.
Yeah, that's definitely up there. No.
I actually did enjoy that game, but like you said, a lot of them are just kind of like, back when I was a noob, like last year at this time, any project that had a PFP attached that had gaming on the roadmap, I was just like, oh, that's gonna be so cool. They're gonna make a game. And yeah, they probably already did now.
No, and
Super Yeti.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool, and I think you do see a lot of PFP projects, and they're like, "Oh, and now we're going to do a metaverse, and now we're going to do a game." It's sort of like, guys, I mean, it's one thing to make 8,000 JPEGs. That takes some time. You want to making a game it's a totally different ball game. So I mean, some people will be able to do it, but it's definitely tough. So. We'll see. I think there's going to be an interesting merging of like our basic idea is that the next generation of companies that survives aren't going to be traditional game companies or traditional crypto companies. It's a hybrid. There's going to be new companies that form that know how to take the best elements of gaming and the best elements of crypto and put together into a new type of structure. And I think that's who's going to make it. That's what we're working on. I do think there's some projects that maybe they do come from the PFP side and they figure out how to integrate gaming properly. Things you're going to see, projects coming from gaming and they figure out how to integrate crypto properly. And there's going to be some that are kind of like this native new structure that forms like organically of like starting from the beginning with gaming and crypto in mind. But definitely there's, it's a fun industry to be in. I mean, we're having a really fun time, and it's the fastest growing. I mean, it's like the industry moves so incredibly fast. It's really tough to keep up with, but it's fun.
That was so well said, because like, I really feel like that happy medium is kind of unfolding and will be over the next few years. But like you said, you either have Web 2 companies that know nothing about crypto or NFTs, like trying to start a project, and it just doesn't work.
They make a game and they say, oh, but now there's NFTs. And it's like, well, what's the point? I mean, like, well, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to really integrate it. So like just saying NFT doesn't make you Web 3.
Exactly. And then you have the opposite. You have, like we talked about earlier, you have Web3 just kind of putting a band-aid of a game on there and saying it's a game, and it's not really fun. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to
stake.
start seeing those. Yeah, I'm excited to start seeing those balances. And yeah, there's an example of what I think could be Web 2 that's like trying to enter the space, but again, I don't know. Is what's that game? Midnight Society. They have Doctor Disrespect on board, but
Oh,
some
did
of the
that
things
start yet?
I actually haven't been keeping up with it. But it's one of those things I think it might be a little bit too Web 2, like trying to come to Web 3, but I'm keeping up with it just in case. But yeah, it sounds like you have a good balance here of really just kind of having not kind of you've been here since July, which like Gutter said makes you an OG now. But having that experience in Web 3, but also having that experience in gaming and landing like I don't landing Unreal Engine 5, like, is that something like it's just really expensive to do? Do you have like how do you like acquire something like that,
It's
for
a
something
really,
like
I
Unreal
mean,
Engine?
I mean, anyone can do it. It just, the trick is finding, like, I guess recruiting talent, finding the right people and the right team. That's really, really tough right now because the traditional game industry is doing great. They're booming. Blockchain gaming is getting huge. So it's more about finding talent. The engine itself is, I mean, it's fantastic, but if you come from Unreal Engine 4, it's no big deal moving to Unreal Engine 5. They're not a huge deal. I mean, there's some differences, but not really.
But just seeing
It's
that in this space is impressive to me. Like seeing it in general was like again, I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I remember when they got Unreal Engine 4, I was like, "Oh, these graphics are amazing!" Like it was so good. So like seeing a blockchain game landed is just cool.
Yeah, the graphics in UE5 are really, really good. I mean, like we can do, they have this system they call Nanite, which is really incredible. Like basically for displaying like static environments that don't deform or anything like that. You can have, but basically any poly count you want. And it's really incredible the way it works. I mean, so on a technical level, Epic is really, I mean, like they really hit a home run with what they've done with UE5. It's really impressive.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you
What
what,
did
I
you
mean, I don't know if you guys saw that. I think it was CD Projekt Red recently announced like a couple months ago, they moved to UE5. They'd been using their own in-house engine for a while, but after a while, it's just like Epic really, really crushed it with Nanite and with what they call Lumen, which is the lighting system. It's basically it's a way of it's pretty easy to set up, and you have like just really natural looking light. Like they really
Yeah, I saw that. I
it's really
saw
cool.
a demo of that Lumen. Oh yeah, it is.
It's
It
really nice.
is.
So that's why when I see that, it's like, okay, we can't do something too cartoony. It's like we got to use these graphics. Like let's make something weird, but let's use let's use the power, as much as we can.
Yeah, so in NFT space, I've noticed for a little while now, some top level streamers started to fade NFTs, which is like the weirdest thing because I always saw NFT and gaming going hand in hand, but some streamers are coming out against NFTs. How do you feel about that? Do you think they're
I think
like
it's early. I
wrong?
think there is like there's in the mainstream gaming community in general, especially like mainstream gaming press, there's a very negative attitude towards NFTs. It's NFTs are a scam. It's just JPEGs, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. I think it's early. I think that and to some degree, I understand why they say that because there are a lot of projects out there that look a little shaky. There's a fair number of rug pulls out there. So if you're just looking at it from the outside, it's like the Wild West. But I also think that it's you're starting to see the proper uses of NFTs now. But I think over the next couple of years, you'll see more and more projects learn how to integrate NFTs correctly, and then I think they'll change opinions. And I compare it a lot to like when DLC came out in gaming, which was like I don't know,
Oh
10, 15
yeah,
years ago. Like remember, it was like super
Yeah.
controversial at first.
it
Like,
was
oh,
a
it's a
big
money
deal.
grab. I already paid $60. Why am I paying more? And now it's just so obvious. It's like you buy a game 4 years later, you buy an expansion pack. It's fun. You keep playing the game. I mean, it's like it makes perfect sense. But that was a huge deal, in gaming when it came out. I
I'm
think it's
so
gonna be a
mad
little bit
about
the
it.
same.
So NFTs will be the new DLCs
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It'll
So
take a couple years.
you think my 3060 will run this game good?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I run
Sweet.
it
Oh,
on a
you have a
3070.
3060?
I do, yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
I love gaming.
yeah, I got a 2070 like 2 months before the 3000 series came out, which really.
2070 will be
Well, I got the
fine.
super.
Yeah.
I got a 2070 super, but still, I just missed the cutoff. Like the value went down instantly. Like after I bought too late, but hey, it still works for now. But
You won't have any
I do
problem
want
with
to
the
upgrade.
2070. I run that on my laptop and it runs just fine.
On your laptop? Jeez. You compared my whole gaming infrastructure to the laptop used to open Microsoft Word.
I want Word to open really fast. It's got to be instantaneous.
Yeah. But yeah, looking at the gameplay, I see the fluids on the like when I got mesmerized by watching it. Like the way the water just like it just goes around them when they're fighting. It looks pretty damn cool. If you scroll
Yeah,
up,
we're gonna do a
Chris, to
lot
that
with that.
video.
The idea with the game is that like the technology in this game, like it's like 50,000 years in the future, and like everything is built out of this element that we call meme. It's like an organic. So it's like technology has become organic, and you basically have this power to like melt everything around you because everything is made out of the same element to varying degrees. You know, so like the entire environment has some of the element embedded in it, and that's just how the whole technology of the game works. Like in that world. So you have like this basically ability to like just melt everything around you. So we just have a lot of fun. I mean, I've always, it's kind of like watching a fire. Like you make a campfire, you can just stare at the fire forever, staring at fluids that are
Yeah,
swirling around. It's very mesmerizing so I just really, I really like it. So we have a lot of stuff like that coming up.
nice, nice. This is cool. I'm gonna go for the. It's looking like I didn't get that pre-mint that I entered, but I'll try to go for the public, which is looking like it might not even 500. It might not make it. What is it looking like? What was your guess? Is it gonna make it to public or?
I mean, we reserved minimum 500 for the public, so there will be some. And I
Mhm.
believe the public. I got to check our FAQ. I think it opens up at noon Eastern on Sunday. I think is when public opens up.
Okay.
I'll have to double check. We have in our Discord, there's the FAQ section where we put up the timeline, but I can't remember exactly where it ended up. But it's right around there. So it's like if you're in the US, I think you've got a decent chance. Unfortunately, like trying to work with time zones in this industry is tough because there's a lot of people in Asia, people in Europe, and no matter which time zone you pick, for someone it's 4 a.m, and they complain. Like
Yeah.
someone messaged us like, "Oh my god, it's why do you guys start it so early in the morning?" It's like, well, where do you live? I don't know. I mean, it's middle of the day for us.
Yeah. NFT space, get used to that. How long is it going to be after the sale to where the gameplay is available?
I think a couple weeks.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
A
I
couple
don't want
weeks,
to.
really?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting ready right now. I mean, it's basically. I mean, we're testing it internally. We're testing 4 versus 4, and it's working. It's working fine. But like we have lots of little issues. Like little things to fix with like the login and like user account generation stuff. So I'll check with our developers, but we're really really close.
So will these? You probably answered this already. I just want to ask for my own clarity and maybe anybody watching. So these that we are mint or that you're minting this weekend, will they still be usable after like later on down the road? Like,
Yeah, what the way it's going to work is like anytime we release something new, we're going to test it out like a month ahead of time with whoever holds the foundation pass, basically. So it's going to be like our permanent like beta testing community, and then there'll be other things like we'll make a special area of our first metaverse cities that only the foundation has access to. It's going to be a permanent whitelist for any NFT drops that we do. So we think we're probably going to have like one drop every quarter or so of like mythic skins and rare skins and stuff like that, and then it'll be whitelist for land sales.
okay, cool.
Land sales. That's tell me, how does the land sales, how would that integrate into this?
So we're gonna do a demo end of the summer, maybe early fall of the first urban environments. But basically imagine like right now we're just building smallish arenas like 2v2, 4v4. We're building right now an arena that can hold 50 to 100 people. And then from there, making an open world environment is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Like you're basically halfway there. So we're going to be introducing the first metaverse city that's embedded in an open world environment, where then you have this kind of combat in an open world setting, and then we start to introduce traditional like MMO type of gameplay, like quests and raids and things like that. So PvP is always going to be a big aspect of the game, but then we are going to have. I mean, some gamers are more story driven, and some gamers are more combat driven. So it kind of depends on the kind of gamer you are. We'll have different ways of interacting with Moonray, but the cities are really going to be each faction will have its own city eventually, but they're social and economic hubs. So imagine it's a place to hang out essentially. All of the economic interactions, like we're building our own marketplace right now. There's going to be just like a web front end. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can
Oh,
still hear you.
for some reason I think the camera just went off. It's all right.
I feel it. I
Um,
feel that.
okay.
Chris knows what's going on.
Um, but basically the cities are social and economic hubs, right? So like imagine the marketplace functionality eventually comes into the city. So you want to get new swords or skins or stuff like that. The city is where you go to get that. So you don't have to leave, the 3D environment essentially.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I can't wait for this. Like like I've seen a lot of like game demos out there of promised games in the future that never actually comes, but this one looks like, it's an actual game coming.
Yeah,
Chris
I mean this
knows what
is
I'm talking about because we complain about this. About trailers come out and say a game will be out in 6 months. Then 2 years later, we're still another trailer comes out again for another 6 months. So this one looks
yeah.
cool and it looks like it's on its way.
Yeah, and we have people, telling us, "Why don't you guys do a trailer? Do a cinematic trailer." It's like, I mean, at some point we'll do one, but for me, it's like just show me gameplay. And like whenever I would see a game and they show me
Yes.
cinematic trailer, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But anyone can go to a Hollywood studio and pay them a bunch of money and they'll make a cool looking trailer. That's not. I want to play the game. What's the game look like? Show me gameplay. That's it. That's the only thing I want to see.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I look for when
Same.
trying to buy a new game. I'm like, yeah, the trailers are cool, but let me see some gameplay first. Of like how the
It's
actual game looks.
It well, see, it
yeah,
reminds
but
me.
NFTs,
you
it's
know,
different.
in the early days of gaming when it was cartridges and you'd go to the like Toys R Us and you'd see a game that had a really cool cover, you'd be like, oh, this looks so cool. And you buy it and you take it home and you're like, it looks nothing like the cover. It's the same thing. And it's the same thing now with
Yeah.
cinematic trailers. Like this trailer looks awesome. And then you play the game, you're like, what? But this has nothing to do with the trailer.
Shoot, I still remember
Yeah.
that Pokemon Go trailer like a couple years ago before Pokemon Go dropped. It made it look so realistic. Like it looked like this Charizard was like existing right in front of you,
Oh
and
yeah.
the game was fun. It was addicting, but like it was like so different than the trailer. It was unreal.
Yeah, but in NFTs though, it's just a trailer. There is no game. There is no gameplay at all. It's the
Well,
it's
and
the
that's
thing. Like
and that's why we're not going to do our Genesis drop until the open beta is ready. Basically, like we don't want to sell
nice.
NFTs until they're usable, or like within like a couple of weeks it'll be usable. Because also just I don't know. I mean, that's why we see gamers, like mainstream gamers, looking at NFT space. They're like, "What the heck is this? You guys are buying all this stuff. It's not even usable. Like, how does any of this work?" And I get it. I mean, I think it's a fair criticism. So, I mean, I think that's something that the industry needs to do. Is just like stop selling stuff until the game is ready, basically, and then you can sell
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, but in NFTs, it seems like sometimes we're the ones paying for for them to go hire people that could build the game. How's that? How are we doing that? But
And listen,
things
listen.
are changing.
If they tell you that up front, it's like, hey guys, this is risky. Like I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, fair enough. Then it's like you're an investor and you're taking your chances. But if they say buy NFTs and don't worry, in a year this awesome game is going to come out, and they don't have, and that's like a pipe dream. That's a different story. That's why it starts to feel, it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, which is perfectly understandable.
Yeah, yeah, we like that's what me and Chris talk about this quite often. There's a few of those companies that are valued very, very high, but they have no gameplay, no demos, just a trailer. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's all they have, just a trailer, and it's been ongoing for a long time now. Just that one trailer. But
That's how
you guys
Illuvium
have.
was for like a year. Like Illuvium
That's what I'm
just now
talking
has
about.
some actual gameplay, but like for like over a year, it's just been trailers.
Yeah, and they finally just got a land sale coming up soon too. But yeah, I can't wait for this game. Chris, you have any more
No, I think that's
questions
pretty
about
much it.
this?
I think that's pretty much it. We covered all bases: gameplay, background, graphics, everything. Mint date. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me
Rodrigo, you got
too.
anything else you'd like to say
No, I mean
before
just
we conclude?
we're looking at anyone that wants to take part. We'd love to have you. We want feedback from the community, especially on gameplay. Is it fun? Is it not fun? What should we be doing with move sets? Like we just really want to get gameplay nailed. Like we got to nail the gameplay and make sure that it's really fun to play. We'll start having streamers stream this like within I don't know, within the next month or so. Once we work out all the initial bugs. Um, Again, it's like we don't want to bother. I mean, we'll do a trailer at some point, but it's just like watch streamers. Are they having fun? If they look like they're having fun, then then jump in. And if not, then we failed.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna join the Discord and be watching it, and if I mint
Me
one,
too.
I'll definitely stream it. So I'm looking forward
Same
to it.
here.
And yeah, so looking forward to it. Moonray, and like I said, this is really my first. I like looked into it last week, but I didn't want to dive too deep before we had you on because like I wanted to ask you the question so
Chris, you
that
took
everybody
his
else could ask.
applause away. Chris, what are you doing? I was just ready to give him his applause. He just took it. He took the whole shine away, Chris. Why you gotta do this
I
for,
thought you were
man?
applauding me for the good conclusion here.
No, no, no. You just stole his applause. No. Thank you for being with us, Rodrigo.
Hey, no
Really
problem.
appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm looking forward for this. Okay, there we go. I am really looking forward to this. The graphics look cool. The game looks cool. Something I would play. Not just like P to E. This is actual play. Maybe you earn. We haven't talked about that yet, but yeah, it does look cool. I am
Awesome.
looking forward to it.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me, and we'll stay in touch.
Rodrigo, thank you for being here.
Awesome.
Everybody that watched, thank you guys for tuning in. We're here Monday through Thursday at the same time, going over some of the best traders, going over new projects, new NFTs. So and of course, as always, this is brought to you by Ninjalerts. We wouldn't be able to do it without Ninjalerts. You'll see it. You saw it on the intro. You'll see it on the outro. But Ninjalerts allows you to follow your favorite whales and influencer wallets. That way, anytime they go to mint, buy, or sell, you are able to see when they do it, right when they do it. And that concludes the show. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.